Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to a new series. We're going to sidestep from our primary series, which is just about complete at this point for a beginner WordPress tutorial series. And I'm going to start a new series, and I'm thinking that these videos are going to be uploaded maybe in the morning with building tutorials uploaded in the evening. I'm going to try to get 2 videos a day. And this new series is going to be all about reviewing plugins and plugins that can make your site easier. And then also I kind of want to do a video for each of the popular plugins on the WordPress repository to give people an idea of how to configure them and how to use them. And then what I'm probably going to do is make lists of plugins that are good for specific site builds, like all these plugins for e-commerce, all these plugins for real estate, all these plugins for local bike shop, or like a local business like a barber or something, and make a big list of plugins that are reviewed for each thing so that you kind of get an idea if you're building a site of a specific type what plugins to use. And in this video today, part 1 of our series, I'm going to be starting with a plugin called Classic Editor. And if you haven't used WordPress for a long time, this isn't something that you'll even notice a difference about, but in the pages part of our website, and we're just on our Bellflower site because I'm just going to be using this as our example, you're going to notice that when you go to the editor, say for our front page, and I know this is confusing with 2 home pages, but the one that says front page is the one you're actually using. This is the one we created, and I'm actually just going to put it in the trash so that we don't get it confused anymore. It actually caught me on the video where I was making the menus and confused me a little. So when we go into this page, you're going to see this block editor, and this is actually a new WordPress feature that came out in one of the newest versions of WordPress called the Gutenberg editor. And for us longtime veterans of WordPress, this is, I don't know, it's the opinions back and forth on if you like it or not. I am not really a huge fan of it personally, and that's because I use a lot of plugin types or a lot of starter plugins that don't use this type of block editor editing. They actually use front-end editing, and I'm going to do reviews on those in the future as well because I really like it. It makes WordPress a lot easier, and I'm not really a fan of this new Gutenberg style, and that's, like I said, it could be primarily because I'm so used to the old style. So if you want to get rid of Gutenberg and you want to go back to the classic editor, which I personally think is more clean, you can do that pretty simply by installing a plugin, and this plugin is called Classic Editor. And if you go look at the amount of people that are using it, just go to plugins, add new, you're going to find it's one of the most installed. See, look at this right here. Classic Editor has been installed 5 million times. The reason why this happened is because all the people who have had long-time WordPress installations and are used to the old editor got forced into Gutenberg by default when the new WordPresses were updated on their sites, and they didn't like it. And I'm kind of in the group that prefers the Classic Editor, and not through stubbornness, but just because it's what I'm used to for so many years. So if you go ahead and just install this plugin, and this video is going to be pretty short, by the way, because there's not a lot of configuration to doing this, but I wanted to show somebody who wanted to get away from the Gutenberg editor and just go back to Classic. All right, if we go back to our pages after that plugin's activated and installed, and we go back to that same homepage and we edit it, you're going to find that it looks drastically different. This is the old WordPress editor. This is how it used to look. And a couple of key differences here. One, in your side, your page attributes are readily available right here versus having to do all those individual drop downs. Your templates are easily accessible. Your featured image is easily accessible. And then down here in the bottom, you still have all your plugin add-ons and additions, all the things that your plugins add to your site here. And I much prefer this style. Like, here's your insert PHP code snippet and pages section and all that stuff. And then if you want to go for HTML editing, you can certainly do that here with the text editor or the visual editor. You can change which way you want to edit it, and then add media here, and then see your site's permalink right here. And personally, I much prefer this version. It's just, for me, it seems so much cleaner and easier to deal with. And if you're using like your all-in-one, you can drop it out right here and check that out. And then the last thing is, when we were adding in the custom fields for that code that we added on our Contact Us page, it allowed the contact page to be redirected. If you remember, there was 3 dots in the right side that we had to drop down and go to advanced features. Well, anything that you have now to show on the bottom is going to be through this screen options. And if you drop that down, you're going to see that all of your plugin add-ons are going to be right here. So that's how you can do it. So you can add that custom field or take it away right here without even having to refresh the page, which I think is pretty cool. So, and then beyond that, you have your all-in-one SEO pack, your layout style of your page, and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, like I've iterated a few times, I much prefer this version to the other style, and I'm pretty glad that the WordPress community came together to recreate this version because I much prefer it. And that's pretty much going to wrap out this first WordPress tutorial review. This one was pretty short because it's a pretty straightforward plugin, but it's really great for somebody that wants to use the old editor versus the new editor. And you don't have to do any configuration. You can just add it in. It's plug and play, literally, and it changes the look of your page editor. So if you always wanted to use, or if you're ever curious about using the old WordPress Classic Editor, which I prefer, that's the way to do it. I'm going to leave this installed in this site. And so as we move forward on the other series, continuing to build on that, I may deactivate it because the people who are watching that are used to the style we were using, and so maybe I'll do that. But in the future, as I actually build this site into something, I'm going to reactivate this so that my page edits are done with the old editor. Beyond that, the next plugin we're going to look at is probably going to be image compression, and we're actually going to use that in this site to compress our images automatically versus manually. That will be in the plugin reviews part 2, which will be shortly behind this one, maybe a couple days, and I look forward to seeing you guys in part 2 of this series.